Hey there, fellow gardeners. If you're watching this, chances are you've walked out to your pepper patch only to discover those dreaded black spots marring your beautiful peppers. Trust me, I've been there. And that sinking feeling when you see your hard work seemingly going to waste is all too familiar. But here's the good news. Those black spots aren't the end of the world. And with the right knowledge and approach, you can not only save your current crop, but prevent this problem from recurring in future seasons. Understanding the enemy, what causes black spots on peppers. Before we dive into solutions, let's get acquainted with the usual suspects behind those unsightly black spots. The most common culprit is actually a physiological disorder called blossom end rot, which manifests as dark, sunken spots typically at the bottom or blossom end of your peppers. This condition isn't caused by a pathogen but rather by your plant's inability to properly transport calcium to the developing fruit. While your soil might have plenty of calcium, factors like inconsistent watering, root damage, or rapid plant growth can disrupt this crucial nutrient uptake. Fungal diseases represent another major category of black spot causes, with Alternaria solani being particularly notorious. This fungus thrives in warm, humid conditions and can quickly spread throughout your garden if left unchecked. The spots from fungal infections often start small and circular, gradually expanding and sometimes developing a target-like appearance with concentric rings. Unlike blossom end rot, fungal spots can appear anywhere on the fruit and are often accompanied by similar symptoms on leaves and stems. Bacterial infections, particularly bacterial spot disease, can also create black lesions on your peppers. These infections are especially problematic because they can spread rapidly through water splash from irrigation or rain, and they're notoriously difficult to control once established. The spots from bacterial infections tend to be more irregular in shape and may have a water-soaked appearance around the edges. Alright, so let's focus on blossom end rot first, since it's actually the most common cause of black spots on peppers. This condition happens when calcium just can't reach the developing fruit tissue, which causes those cells to break down and turn black, and while a calcium deficiency in the soil can definitely play a part, it's actually more often about the plant's inability to transport the calcium that's already there effectively. Now, inconsistent watering is really the primary trigger for blossom end rot. When the soil moisture swings a lot between being really wet and then really dry, it messes with the plant's ability to absorb nutrients, including calcium. During those dry spells, the plant's root system just can't take up calcium well, and if you suddenly give it a ton of water, that rapid uptake can actually damage the tiny root hairs that are responsible for absorbing nutrients. Root damage from things like cultivation over-fertilizing with nitrogen or even soil compaction can also get in the way of calcium uptake. Plus, when the weather gets extremely hot, it can make the problem worse by increasing the plant's water needs beyond what the roots can actually supply. So, understanding these mechanisms really helps us come up with targeted solutions that address the root cause instead of just treating the symptoms. Fungal diseases. When moisture becomes your enemy. Fungal diseases like Alternaria blight create a different type of black spot that honestly requires a completely different approach. These pathogens, well, they just love warm and humid conditions and can survive in plant debris from previous seasons, which makes them particularly challenging to eliminate. The fungus typically enters through wounds or natural openings in the plant tissue, and it spreads through spores that are easily carried by wind, water, and even gardening tools. The key to understanding fungal diseases is recognizing that they're opportunistic. They strike when plants are stressed, when air circulation is poor, or when prolonged wet conditions create the perfect environment for spore germination. Unlike blossom end rot, which is primarily a nutritional and watering issue, fungal diseases require a multi-pronged approach that includes both prevention and active treatment. Anthracnose is another fungal disease that can cause black spots on peppers, particularly during wet seasons. This disease often starts as small, dark spots that gradually expand and may develop pink or orange spore masses in the center. The spots can appear anywhere on the fruit and often have a slightly sunken appearance as the disease progresses. So, let's talk about organic prevention strategies. This is really about building your defense. The foundation of preventing black spots on peppers starts with variety selection and garden planning. You want to choose pepper varieties that are known for their resistance to common diseases and their ability to handle your local climate conditions. Some varieties are naturally more resistant to blossom end rot, while others show better tolerance to fungal diseases. Proper plant spacing is, honestly, crucial for preventing fungal diseases. When plants are crowded together, air circulation is reduced, creating the kind of humid microclimate that fungi just love. So, make sure to space your pepper plants according to their mature size recommendations, and don't be tempted to squeeze in extra plants. Good air movement helps keep foliage dry and makes it much harder for fungal spores to establish themselves. Soil preparation really plays a vital role in preventing both blossom end rot and fungal diseases. Well-draining soil that's rich in organic matter helps maintain consistent moisture levels and provides the nutrients your plants need. Add compost or aged manure to improve soil structure and water-holding capacity. And it's a good idea to consider having your soil tested to ensure proper pH levels, since peppers prefer slightly acidic to neutral conditions between 6.0 and 7.0. Mulching around your pepper plants, really helps maintain consistent soil moisture and temperature, while also suppressing weeds that can harbor pests and diseases. It's best to use organic mulches like straw, shredded leaves, or grass clippings, but make sure to keep the mulch a few inches away from the plant stems to prevent any moisture-related problems. Organic treatment solutions, they're all about fighting back naturally. When prevention just isn't enough and you're already seeing those black spots, organic treatments can help save your crop and stop things from getting worse. For blossom end rot, the main treatment focuses on correcting the underlying calcium uptake problem. So, you'll want to ensure consistent watering by checking soil moisture daily and watering deeply but less frequently. It's also a good idea to consider installing a drip irrigation system or soaker hoses to maintain steady moisture levels. Foliar calcium applications can provide immediate relief for plants that are showing blossom end rot symptoms. Just mix calcium chloride or calcium acetate according to the package directions, and spray the foliage and developing fruits in the early morning or evening to avoid leaf burn. Now, while foliar applications won't fix the root cause, they can help reduce symptoms on your current fruit while you work on addressing those underlying watering issues. For fungal diseases, organic fungicides can be highly effective when used correctly. Copper-based fungicides are approved for organic use and can help control both bacterial and fungal infections. Apply these treatments preventively during humid weather or at the first sign of disease symptoms. Always follow label instructions carefully, and avoid applying copper sprays during hot, sunny conditions to prevent plant burn. Baking soda sprays offer another organic option for controlling fungal diseases. Mix 1 tablespoon of baking soda with 1 gallon of water and add a few drops of dish soap to help the solution stick to plant surfaces. This treatment works by changing the pH on leaf surfaces, making it difficult for fungal spores to germinate and establish infections. Neem oil serves as both a fungicide and an insecticide, making it particularly valuable for managing multiple problems simultaneously. The oil works by disrupting the life cycle of both fungal pathogens and pest insects, while also providing some systemic protection as it's absorbed by plant tissues. Successfully managing black spots on peppers requires ongoing attention to garden health and plant care practices. Regular monitoring is essential for catching problems early when they're easiest to treat. Walk through your garden daily, looking for early signs of disease or stress, including changes in leaf color, wilting, or the appearance of spots on fruits or foliage. So, crop rotation plays a crucial role in breaking disease cycles and preventing the buildup of soil-borne pathogens. You really want to avoid planting peppers in the same location year after year. And, well, don't follow peppers with other nightshade family plants like tomatoes, eggplants, or potatoes. A 3 to 4 year rotation cycle helps ensure that disease organisms can't establish permanent populations in your garden. And sanitation practices are equally important for long-term disease prevention. Be sure to remove and dispose of diseased plant material immediately, rather than composting it where pathogens might survive. It's also important to clean your gardening tools between plants, especially when working with diseased specimens, using a 10% bleach solution or rubbing alcohol to disinfect cutting surfaces. Water management remains critical throughout the growing season. It's best to water at the base of plants rather than overhead to keep foliage dry and reduce disease pressure. If you must use overhead watering, do so early in the morning so plants have time to dry before evening, and avoid working in the garden when plants are wet, as this can spread diseases from plant to plant. Your path to pepper success. Remember, dealing with black spots on peppers is part of the learning journey that makes us better gardeners. Each challenge teaches us something new about plant health, soil biology, and the delicate balance that creates a thriving garden ecosystem. The key is to stay observant, act quickly when problems arise, and always focus on creating the healthiest possible growing environment for your plants. With consistent care, proper prevention strategies, and timely intervention when needed, you can enjoy beautiful, spot-free peppers throughout the growing season. The satisfaction of harvesting perfect peppers from plants you've nurtured back to health is one of gardening's greatest rewards. If this guide helped you understand and tackle those frustrating black spots on your peppers, make sure to subscribe to the Smart Garden YouTube channel for more practical gardening solutions. Share this video with fellow gardeners who might be struggling with similar issues, and let us know in the comments how these techniques work in your garden. Together, we can grow healthier, more productive gardens that provide us with the fresh, delicious produce we all love.